Bell, coming to you from home today. Had some things going on. Had a funeral service to officiate this morning, so my schedule changed a little bit. But wanted to recap a little bit of what we talked about Sunday and go from there. So this past Sunday we closed out our I Declare War series. Was a series I very much enjoyed studying myself and doing a lot of the prep work for, spending time with the Lord in each of these different categories was enlightening for me and helped me grow. And so my hope is me communicating what I felt like God gave me to you helped you grow as well. But doing a recap a little bit about what we specifically talked about Sunday, and that was kind of the premise of Sunday was whether or not you viewed yourself as a sinner striving to be a saint, or you saw yourself as a saint who will sometimes sin. And the answer to that question changes a lot of the way we view our Christian walk, because if you constantly see yourself as this sinner, always trying to be a saint, it changes the way you interact with Jesus. Even is you're trying to earn something, you're always trying to work towards something, as opposed to viewing yourself as a saint who sometimes sins. You realize that you have already been given a lot, and you live from that. You don't live to earn God's favor as like a sinner trying to be a saint. You get to live from His favor, and that's a big difference when we're living our life for Jesus. It changes the way we view obligation, responsibility, a lot of those things. The church, in my opinion, for a lot of its history, has been very focused on, well, you need to do this, you should do this, you have to do this, you can't do that. And that is the viewpoint of a sinner trying to be a saint. Well, in order to be a saint, you can't do this, you can't do that. Saints don't do that. But if you view yourself as a saint, then you get to live from that because you have been loved. You get to love because you've been given the message of salvation. You get to take that message to other people. There's not an obligation from, well, I have to do this in order to get something, or in order to arrive somewhere at some future destination. It's no, because of what Christ did, I get to live from this. And so it's that understanding of grace. We watched that video from True Face Ministries, the Two Roads video. You can YouTube that. I know the video didn't come across on Sunday, and so you would have been able to hear the video on the live stream, or not on the live stream, but on the podcast. But you wouldn't have seen the video. But you can just YouTube it, True Face, Two Roads, and you'll get to that video. And it's a great video that really helps you understand the difference between a life trying to please God and a life focused on trusting God, and the differences between those two. Significant difference in the way we live our life and the way we interact with our faith. Both people can be saved. Both people can know Jesus, but the way they live their life is drastically different. Constantly trying to please God, we tend to hide things. It becomes more of a facade. We aren't genuine with our real struggles because we want people to approve so that Jesus will approve of our life, so that we can please Him, and we can make Him happy. And even in parenting, being honest, it's hard not to tell my kids, well, you need to do this because it makes Jesus happy, or in order to make Jesus happy, this is what we do. Or, oh, if you do that, it makes Jesus' heart sad. Now, when we sin, I do believe it grieves God, and He's not pleased with our sin, but that doesn't make Him less pleased with us. And it's living in that place of trusting God that, yeah, we're going to be messed up, we're going to be messy, and things are going to get ugly in our life, but that doesn't mean God loves us less, or He's less pleased with us, or He's less satisfied with who we are. And it's just a different way to live life. And so I encourage you, check out, True Face is a great ministry resource. You can dive into their website. I think it's trueface.org, and really some great tools there. I know for some of you, this is a huge, huge paradigm shift for you, because you were raised in much more of a legalistic, pleasing God world. And so to find out there's this whole other life to live for Jesus that is far more satisfying, far more enjoyable and grace-filled, is a beautiful thing. And so I encourage you to go down that road. Read the book The Cure by John Lynch and I think Bill Thrall, and I forget the other guy's name. But read that book. It's a fantastic read, and I really enjoyed it because, like I said, just admitting, like, I'm not great at this. I'm not great at grace, and my preaching comes across that way because it's not something I focus on and or think about often. I try to present what I present to help you understand. You're never gonna earn God's favor. We don't do things because we have to or because we should, but simply because it's the right thing to do, or because it's what honors the Christ in us, and those kind of things. So I don't feel like I'm on the entirely other side of the pendulum with grace, but I am in process. I am learning so much about grace. So when I read The Cure, I thought it was amazing. I thought it was, really eye-opening for me, and really enjoyed it. As a matter of fact, you're going to see a lot more of that in the fall. We're going to be doing a sermon series, I believe, in the fall that focuses around that book, The Cure. I think for the majority of us, there's a lot for us to learn in that. I mean, I quoted the book on Sunday. It says, the entirety of your life in Christ is about learning to receive love. And do you believe that? I mean, how did that hit your heart Sunday? How have you processed that since? I mean, it's, to me, I immediately went off on the, a tangent I told you this Sunday, and I began to think, like, it's not just about receiving love. You got to do this, and it's about this, and you got to stop doing that. And, my legalistic brain started going through, like, all the things you have to do. But really, at the end of the day, what motivates, what is the proper motivation for all of those things is learning to receive the love of God. Like, when we really can rest in his love, when we can sit in his presence and feel his love for us, when we can feel his love for the lost world, that's what changes us. That's what gives us the proper motivation to engage the world around us and to grow in sanctification ourselves, to grow in our walk with Jesus. Like, everything's motivated by love, by experiencing the Father's love. And the more we do that, the better off we are. I think back to, I watched some videos and read some things about parenting, and just the reality of, the more you love your kids and snuggle with them, and the more affection they get when they're younger, the better adjusted they are as they get older. And you can't really spoil them with love and affection as kids because of how much more healthy they become later in life. And I think that same concept is true for us. The more we can rest in the Father's love, the more healthy we become as believers. The healthier we are in our relationships with others, with our own parenting, with in every way. We're healthier when we can rest and enjoy the love of the Father. And so I hope that made you struggle a little bit. I hope it caused you to kind of like, I want to think about that a little bit, because I don't know that I agree with that. I hope, you wrestle with those things when you hear them. I hope you're not just like, well, I don't agree with that, and then you cast it out of your mind. Like, I hope you really chew on some of this stuff, and it challenges you to grow, because you didn't maybe agree at first, and you really wanted to wrestle through it. So that's our I Declare War series. I hope you have declared war. I hope you acknowledge that much of what we can blame Satan for or the world for is actually more our doing, and because we are not disciplined, because we're not exercising grace, because we're not sitting in the love of the Father, we wander and we go after the things of this world. So I pray you were blessed by this series. I know I certainly was, and I am really looking forward to what we have next. We have Father's Day coming up this Sunday, so join us for Father's Day, and throw some steaks on a grill or something, and I'm pretty sure that's what we'll be doing, because that's what this father wants for Father's Day, is a big old ribeye on the grill. So, as far as schedule-wise, Community Days is happening this week. It's here already, and I love the fact that, Friday and Saturday are two of like the least rain days. So it's going to be a lot of fun, very enjoyable for all. So if you're able to help us, tomorrow, Thursday night, starting at 6, we're going to start setting everything up. We're going to get everything put up and organized for our ability and our outreach to bless our community. So if you can make it out on Thursday night, we'd love to have you. A lot of little things that need done, things put up, decorations, whatnot. It would be a huge help. The more hands, the quicker it'll go, much easier it'll be. And then Friday and Saturday, Friday 5 to 9, we'll be there at the booth. And then Saturday from about noon to 9, we'll be there as well. So if you haven't signed up yet, you can sign up and grab a slot, or you can just swing by and hang out with us for a bit. During community days, we'll be there. So we hope you'll join us for that. I think it's one of our better outreaches that we go out into the community and we bless them and something they're doing. So it's a great way to do that. Very easy thing to do. And I think that's about all we got. I don't have a ton of other stuff on the calendar. So I do know I didn't get an opportunity to announce it on Sunday, but the 9th is when Ben and Chelsea will be with us during service, so you don't want to miss that. We're going to be doing a dinner right after the service and just kind of celebrating, getting to know a little bit more about the Andersons and the ministry they're engaged in now and what God's doing with them. A lot going on, even the last couple of weeks with trying to find a place to live and all these things. So we hope you'll join us for that. And get to hear from their hearts and find out a little bit more about what they've been up to these last couple of years. But that's the July 9th, and so don't want to miss that. But, we're getting ever closer. Jackie's due in, 15 days? Yeah, so just over 2 weeks is when Jackie's due. So we'll find out what happens with that. It's exciting. Add number 3 to the family, but so that's all I got for you. I hope to see you Sunday, 10:30 a.m. It'll be Father's Day, so find a way to celebrate your dads or your husbands or whatever that looks like. I did think it was interesting. I'm going to share it Sunday because it's an interesting fact. I'll wait till Sunday to share that with you. But see you Sunday, 10:30 a.m., hopefully in person if you can. If not, maybe you'll catch it on here unless the live stream breaks.